So, in this chapter, readers, we're going to compare how your family celebrates the American holidays and how Grace's family, the Lynns, celebrate American holidays. So, there's definitely some cultural differences, but there's also some similarities of how your family and the family that's featured in this story celebrate the upcoming holidays. And it's very timely since we are looking at the holidays. So there are three holidays that they're going to discuss. They're going to discuss the new Chinese New Year here at the end of these two chapters. They're going to talk about Christmas, and they're going to talk about Thanksgiving. So let's look at how we compare and we can contrast. You practiced a little bit on that active engagement slide prior when you compared Thanksgiving with Halloween. So one thing you need to really consider is that relationship to the setting. So we know the setting in this story is typically at school or Grace's house or Melody's house. Your setting is going to be personalized to you, your house, right, or wherever you go and celebrate the holidays at. So Grace's setting at her house, you have to think of not only where, but who is involved in that setting, and that's mom and dad and her brothers and her sisters. Maybe Melody's going to come over. All of those people contribute to really the events that are going to happen. We know that a lot of things about mom. We know that mom immigrated from Taiwan, and she still holds on to a lot of those Taiwanese Chinese traditions. And we'll see how that in the setting at Grace's house influences the Year of the Dog. And one example of that is think of the difference between Melody's house and Grace's house. When the girls are eating at Melody's house, Melody's family really eats healthy. So a lot of the options are healthy, and Grace didn't like the Chinese cooking as much as her mother's cooking. Where when Melody goes to Grace's house, Grace's mom is a superb cook and doesn't cook as healthy, and that changes Melody and Grace's actions depending on where they're at. So we're going to compare the Lynns, Grace's family, with my family, the Hoffmans, and we're going to see how that changes throughout this story. And you're going to do the same thing too. I'm sorry, not changes. We're going to see how we are similar and different. American holidays the Chinese way. So here's mom's mashed sweet potatoes. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. On TV, after someone gets rich, everything changes. They get servants and fancy clothes and big houses. After I got rich, none of these things happened. Mom said I'd have to even get richer for those things. But I didn't mind because I figured out what I wanted to do when I grew up. And just in time, snow fell from the sky like clumps of white rice. The holiday season was here. Thanksgiving and Christmas are two of the most important holidays in the United States. It took Lissy, Kiki, and me a long time to show mom and dad how to celebrate them right. Every year for Thanksgiving, we had to talk mom into buying a turkey. I wonder why mom doesn't want to buy a turkey. Why don't I get a chicken? Mom said. A turkey is too big. No, we would all say in unison. You have to eat a turkey on Thanksgiving. Oh, okay, okay, she said. But you have to eat the leftovers. Dad and I don't like turkey. Then Mom would rummage through the frozen food section trying to find the smallest turkey possible. So let's compare and contrast just right there. Typically, we go for really large turkeys for Thanksgiving. Their family wants a small turkey because it's just the kids that are eating the turkey. Mom and dad aren't really big fans. Lissy tried to talk Mom into making mashed sweet potatoes like they do on TV. Mom made them, but she didn't put them in a bowl like Americans did. She molded them into small cakes and then decorated them with herbs. They were like marigold colored cupcakes with parsley sprinkles. We couldn't help but laugh when we saw them. What? Mom said. Aren't they prettier this way? Thanksgiving dinner at our house was always like that. We had a lot of food covering the whole table, but it was full of glassy rice noodles, stir-fried shrimp, crispy fried fish, meaty dumplings, tangy sweet and sour pork, thick egg drop soup, white rice, and a very small turkey. The turkey was never in the middle of the table, but it was always on the side because Mom only made it because we had said we have to have it. So I'm going to pause there First of all, this is a good chapter for you to kind of look and collect your evidence of what is similar with your Thanksgiving dinner and what is different with your Thanksgiving dinner than how the Lins celebrate. So how is it different? What do they do differently than your family, and what do they do similarly to your family? So you can pause right here and you can look at that and record some of those things if you'd like to. All right. So hopefully you came up with some ideas. I came up with an idea. My family eats sweet mashed potatoes. Really, really delicious. My sister-in-law made them this year. She put a ton of marshmallows in them, and it was like eating candy. That's how delicious they were. The Lins also eat sweet mashed potatoes, but they put them in balls. So those are two things I could have compared and contrasted. So we both similarly eat mashed potatoes, but we eat them in different ways. They put theirs in a ball with um, parsley, and it looks really beautiful. We smash ours in a bowl. So, what are some other things that you came up with? On the next slide, you're going to record that, but go ahead and turn and talk right now. Great. I heard some of you talk about the different things that are Chinese dishes that they ate in this section here, like the glassy rice noodles, stir-fried shrimp, crispy fried fish, meaty dumplings, tangy sweet and sour pork, thick egg drop soup, white rice. So all of those things are definitely not consumed in my family Thanksgiving dinner. I think if I put some fish on the table, some people would look at me funny. But they do sound delicious, don't they? The Pilgrims didn't eat like this at first Thanksgiving, Lissy said. They probably never ate Chinese food ever, I said. Ah, but if they did, Dad said, I bet this is what they would have wanted for dinner. So let's see what you come up with for the holiday of Christmas. Christmas was the same way. Everyone in our neighborhood hung up Christmas lights all over their houses and trees. We tried to get Dad to do the same. Dad hung the lights, but he didn't spend too much time doing it. Without putting on his coats or boots, he ran outside and threw them on the bush. Brrr, he said, stomping in the snow from his bedroom slippers. It's cold out there. So, of course, while everyone else's lights were in nice arches and evenly spaced all over their trees and bushes, our lights looked like a blob with light bulbs flashing frantically for help. It looks more natural this way, Dad said when he complained. Xmas lights at our neighbor's house, Xmas lights at our house. If a bush were ever to grow electric rainbow colored blinking lights, I'm sure it'd look more like our bush than anyone else's. And Mom hated buying a Christmas tree. The poor tree, Mom said. Do you know how many years it took for that tree to grow that big? And if you cut it down just to decorate for a couple of weeks, how about we just decorate my rubber tree plant? It's almost as big as a tree. They didn't understand at all. But they did get us Christmas presents. Chinese people usually don't give gifts. They give lucky red envelopes of money. Mom said it was much more practical that way. But we told them that for Christmas we were supposed to get presents. But it's all the same as if I give you money, Mom would argue. What's the difference? I buy it for you or you buy it for yourself. We just shook our heads. Okay, Mom said, what do you want for Christmas? Now this was more like Christmas. What did we want? Lissy wanted clothes. Now that she was almost a teenager, she wanted to be stylish, probably for boys. I thought clothes were the most boring gift ever. Kiki wanted more toy ponies. Her friend Sandy Pan had 100 ponies. Kiki only had 4. She wanted to catch up with Sandy. I didn't think Mom would buy her 96 ponies, though. What about you, Pacey? Mom asked. I thought hard at first. I thought maybe I wanted some new paints and drawing paper. Ever since I decided I was going to write and draw books, I needed a lot of supplies, but somehow that didn't seem special enough to be a Christmas gift. In books, Christmas gifts were always fancy toys or games, so I thought about what kind of toy I wanted. At school, we were reading about a pioneer girl. She had a doll with a bonnet and a cornflower blue calico apron. I had a rag body and a shiny clay head. I'm sorry, it had a rag body and a shiny clay head with painted blue eyes and black hair. They called it a China doll. I decided I want one of those, so I could pretend I was a pioneer girl. I want a China doll, I told Mom. You know, the kind of dolls with the head made out of clay. I want one of those. Mom nodded her head. On Christmas morning, we were all excited to get up, even though we already knew what our presents were going to be. I'm going to pause there. I want you to think about the Christmas holiday. So, I believe all of you celebrate Christmas, but for those who may or may not celebrate Christmas, you kind of know what some of the traditions are. How are these traditions the same in the Lin family? How are they different in the Lin family? Go ahead now and record some of your ideas. I'll leave this here so you can pause it, and if you need to reread, you can go back. Let's see how Christmas morning plays out. It was fun running to go open them. Lissy got a new pair of jeans and a peacock green blue striped sweater she had wanted. Kiki got a lavender colored toy pony with sparkling fake jewels on it, but I got a Chinese doll. It wasn't anything like what a pioneer girl had. It was a Chinese woman with long black hair wearing a pink silk dress and carrying flowers. I was so disappointed. Mom came down to see us open our gifts. What's wrong? She asked. Isn't that what you wanted? But I asked for a China doll, I said. You know, with the clay head. Hold on, buddy. I'm doing a video real quick, okay? But it is a Chinese doll, Mom said, and her head is made out of porcelain. I even ordered it from China. It took a while to explain. Finally, Mom said, I'm sorry it wasn't what you wanted, but do you like the doll anyway? I looked at the doll. She had a nice face. It wasn't her fault she wasn't the same as the Pioneer Girls. Oh well, I said, I guess I can pretend I'm a Pioneer Girl in China.